Let me show you how I edited this reaction video in Camtasia. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Tolentino here from Essetinomedia, and on this channel, we show you how to create profitable content. Alright, so I recently did a video where I was doing a reaction style video where I was reacting to one of my very first ever tutorial videos that I did 14 years ago. So here's how I did it in Camtasia. Hey guys, and oh my god, I'm gonna be pausing this a lot. Wow, so as you can see, that's me 14 years ago. Now, to make it really easy and really simple, you want to do the recording with the Camtasia screen recorder. So you can see that I have my video over here, and then I have the screen over here. So this is what it originally looked like. And you can see that I've got already my camera and this screen here, my computer screen, it's already synced up. So one of the first things you want to do is when you are doing the recording and you're clicking the record button, you want to make sure that you have all these features turned on. So you have your webcam turned on, you have your microphone, you have your computer screen, and this is important, you have the audio of your computer turned on. If you don't turn that on, then you're not going to get the proper audio from the video playing. And you're going to have to like either download the video and sync it up that way, but it's not going to be clear quality. So you can see all my layers that I have going on here. I've got the background that I put in at the end. It's a gradient background. I put it in at the end because it's not necessary for me to do during the edit. So the first thing I did when I finished the recording is I right-clicked on this and I turned it into a proxy video, which is why you see all these like yellow dots and there's a yellow dot over here. That means it's just a lower quality version as a placeholder so that it doesn't bog down my computer. But when I do the final render, it'll be normal, really good quality. The first thing that I did after the proxy is I do my color correction and my audio. So if I highlight this entire first row here, the first things that I do is I added the AI noise removal, which is in my favorites because I've starred it, and you want to make sure to star your favorite features. Here it is right here. You can also find it located in the audio effects tab. So I fix the audio, and then I've got what I call color correction in Camtasia. And so I add the color LUT. Let's just go back to the first one here. I added the color LUT, and I usually lower the intensity down. So the color LUT that I use is enhanced contrast. I love for there to be contrast in the colors that I'm using. So I have my color LUT in the favorites tab here. The color LUT is also located in the visual effects tab. And so you can see here when I turn it off, I look a little bit more dull, right? And I put it on. It just brings some color to my face. And originally when you add it on, it'll be like super dark. It'll be at 100%. So I typically lower it down to 38. Now it really depends on you and your skin tone, right? So for me, I just put it around here, and you can see the difference when I turn it like off and on. I then also add the color adjustment, which is this one right here, also located in the visual effects tab. And you can see when I turn this off, everything as a whole is just like more darker. I turn it back on, it's given brightness to the walls and everything. You know, if I turn both of these things off, this is what the footage originally looked like. And then I put the color LUT on, and then I put color adjustment, and then it just brightens it up. With the color adjustment, I usually raise the brightness first, lower the contrast down, and increase the saturation. Again, it's going to be different for everybody depending on your skin tone and your environment and what's going on, how much light you actually have. So you can just play around with the settings there. So that was me visually on the screen. Next is the actual screen recording of the video on YouTube. So originally, this was looking like this. This is what it looked like. Completely different, right? It makes a huge difference when you style things, when you crop things, when you add color, all the details. For the actual screen recording, I styled this and I went to the crop and I cropped out all the unnecessary stuff that's not needed. So I went like that because I wanted to show this part down here at the bottom that this was filmed 14 years ago. And then I cropped this part. It just makes it clean. And then I went down to over here, went like this. So you can see it's already looking 1,000 times better. And then as for the details, I like to add corner rounding, which makes the corners of, the object round. I think that's a nice detail. So that's what it looks like right there. And then I also added a drop shadow, which you can only see when the background is placed. So I added that. And then I went back to this tool right here and I sized it and I made it a little bit bigger. And then I placed it somewhat like this. And that's what it looked like. Now for me, after I did the color correction, we'll go back here. You can see that I'm in a circle. So what I did for that was I added the mask here. So you can place this. I'll just go back to the original footage. For me, I placed the mask here on top, and you can see it went from that to initially it was that. So it went from that to that. You do want to size this accordingly because it might not get it correct. Because if you look at mine, I moved it so that I was in the center, whereas this one's just like I'm a little bit more cut off. What I like to do is I like to make the circle a bit bigger because I want people to, see my reaction. It makes it a lot smaller when it's the original size. And then I moved this circle. So if you click on the red part and you move it down, you can move this a little bit more down. So you can see how that looks way better than, originally it had it up here. I look like I'm really short. I am in real life, but in the video, I don't want to look short. So I just moved it down just like that. You can also make this circle bigger, but before you do that, make sure you hold down the shift button. Otherwise, if you don't, then the circle ends up being all wonky like that, and you don't want that. So hold the shift button down and it will hold the aspect ratio. So you can make it tighter of a circle and fit it accordingly. You can make this a bit bigger. And so you see how much better that looks? When you grab the circle that's over here, you move everything as a whole. But if you grab the red one, then you're moving the actual circle. So hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I placed myself up here in the middle, something like this. I'm matching like the edge of the circle to the edge of this. So I probably just like moved this in just like a little bit. And then this is just all the placement of everything. So I'm just getting everything all in place. I've got my audio done, color done. I've designed how I want the video to look and I've cropped it accordingly. So now what's left to do is to actually go in and edit the video in terms of removing the dead air, removing the mistakes, and just doing the jump cut style editing, which is what you see here. So originally, it comes in one big slab, one big piece, and you're basically just chopping it up the way that you like. So you can see I went through the entire video and just went through, did my little jump cut editing. And then I added in my background, which is something that I saved in my library. I have my own library here where I save all my stuff, and you should be saving your own assets as well. Things that you use on a frequent basis, it's going to save you time. If I had to go and create this each time, it's saved exactly as is. It's got my colors, sizing, it's ready to go. and I have it right here, line gradient. And this is all the Essetino assets. I've got assets for, my clients and things like that that are particular for them that I save in their own little libraries. So I added in my background, and then I also have this like name, lower third name badge that comes up that is also saved as well, that I have pop up. And then it's just about adding in all the small details. You can see that even on my circle here, the video of me, I also have the shadow here. These are all the things that make the video look good. So this was definitely a fun edit for me, both to film and to edit. I had a really great time reacting to this first video. Definitely brought me back. So that's how you edit a reaction video in Camtasia. Again, to make it easier, use the screen record feature to record yourself and your computer screen. It'll make it a lot easier to edit. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to edit videos like I do in Camtasia, you guys can check out my Camtasia course. It's over 12 hours long. You get lifetime access. It's super cheap. I update it once a year, and it's basically like an encyclopedia of all my Camtasia tutorials ad-free. Head down to the description below and you guys can check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.